10 psychological tricks people use on you every day, you don't notice. People manipulate you every single day. And the scary part is, you usually don't even notice it. From advertisements, to social media, to conversations with people around you. Small psychological tricks are constantly influencing your emotions, decisions, and behavior. Sometimes these tricks are harmless. Sometimes they are used to sell you things. And sometimes, they are used to control you. And today, we're going to talk about 10 psychological tricks people use every day. Once you notice them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's topic is honestly one of the most interesting things to learn about because psychology affects almost every part of our lives. The way people talk to you. The way companies advertise products. The way influencers get attention. Even the way friendships and conversations work. A lot of people think manipulation always looks dramatic or evil. But in reality, most psychological influence is very small and subtle. And that's exactly why it works. So in this video, we're going to break down 10 psychological tricks in a simple way with real-life examples. Let's begin. The first trick is called the yes ladder. This happens when someone asks you small easy questions first. Questions like, do you like this? Do you agree? Doesn't that make sense? And naturally, you answer yes. Then they continue. Another small question. Another yes. Another yes. And after your brain gets comfortable agreeing, they suddenly ask for something bigger. Maybe they ask you to buy something. Maybe they ask for a favor. Maybe they ask you to support an idea. This works because the human brain likes consistency. When you keep saying yes, suddenly saying no feels uncomfortable. Your brain wants to stay consistent with previous decisions. Salespeople use this. Marketers use this. Even regular people use this in conversations. So next time someone asks you many small questions in a row, slow down. Think independently. You are allowed to change your answer. The second trick is fake urgency. You've definitely seen this online. Only today. Limited offer. Last chance. Suddenly you feel pressure. You feel like if you don't act now, you'll miss something important. And that feeling creates anxiety. Your brain stops thinking carefully because it becomes focused on avoiding loss. This is actually connected to psychology. Humans hate losing opportunities more than they enjoy gaining something new. That's why urgency works so well. But here's something important. Real opportunities usually don't need to pressure you aggressively. If someone is rushing you too much, take a step back. Pause. Think calmly. Because rushed decisions are often bad decisions. The third trick is mirroring. This one is extremely interesting because most people never notice it. Mirroring happens when someone copies your behavior in small ways. If you speak softly, they speak softly too. If you smile, they smile. If you lean forward, they do the same. Why? Because mirroring creates connection. It makes people feel understood and comfortable. Psychologists discovered that humans naturally trust people who seem similar to them. And sometimes, skilled communicators use this intentionally. Now, mirroring is not always manipulative. Sometimes people do it naturally without realizing it. But now that you know this trick, you'll start noticing it in conversations everywhere. The fourth trick is using your name repeatedly. Have you ever noticed how some people keep saying your name during conversations? Listen. You understand me, right? Trust me. This is powerful because your name is emotionally connected to your identity. Your brain reacts differently when it hears your name. It immediately becomes more alert and attentive. That's why many successful speakers, salespeople, and influencers use names carefully. It creates emotional closeness. It feels personal. And honestly, it works surprisingly well. The fifth trick is silence pressure. This psychological trick is very powerful. Imagine you are talking to someone. You finish speaking. And instead of responding immediately, they stay silent. Suddenly the silence feels uncomfortable. So what happens? Most people start talking again. They explain more. They reveal more information. They sometimes even say things they didn't plan to say. Humans naturally dislike awkward silence. And skilled negotiators know this. Sometimes the person who stays calm and silent gains more control in conversations. So next time silence happens, don't panic. You don't always need to fill every quiet moment. The sixth trick is too many choices. A lot of people think more choices create more freedom. But psychology shows something surprising. Too many choices actually make people stressed and mentally tired. For example, imagine entering a store with 100 different products. Your brain suddenly has to compare everything. Prices, colors, quality, reviews. And after some time, your brain becomes exhausted. This is called decision fatigue. That's why some companies intentionally simplify options. Because simpler decisions feel easier and more satisfying. So if you ever feel overwhelmed while choosing something, remember, more options do not always mean better options. The seventh trick is called the anchor effect. This one influences people constantly. Imagine you see a jacket for $300. Then you see another jacket for $120. Suddenly $120 feels cheap. But is it actually cheap? Maybe not. Your brain is comparing it to the first number it saw. And that first number becomes their anchor. Businesses use this strategy everywhere. Restaurants, online stores, shopping malls. That's why expensive products are often placed next to regular products. Because comparison changes perception. And once you understand this trick, shopping becomes much more interesting. The eighth trick is social proof. Humans are deeply influenced by other humans. If thousands of people are doing something, your brain automatically thinks, it must be good. That's why you see things like 5 million views. Best-selling product. Everyone is talking about this. Social proof creates trust. Even when we don't fully understand something, we often follow the crowd because it feels safer. But crowds are not always correct. Sometimes people follow trends without thinking independently. So ask yourself, do I actually like this? Or do I only like it because everyone else does? That question is more important than most people realize. The ninth trick is the friendly seller technique. Sometimes people become extremely friendly very quickly. They compliment you. They smile constantly. They make you feel special. And emotionally, you begin trusting them. Then suddenly, they try to sell you something. This works because humans naturally trust people who make them feel good emotionally. And honestly, this technique is everywhere. Influencers use it. Brands use it. Salespeople use it. Now that doesn't mean every friendly person is fake. Of course not. But emotional connection can strongly affect decision-making. And being aware of that helps you think more clearly. The 10th and final trick is repetition. This one might be the most powerful of all. When you hear something repeatedly, your brain slowly starts accepting it. Not necessarily because it's true, but because it becomes familiar. Advertisements understand this perfectly. The same slogan. The same message. The same music. Again and again and again. And after enough repetition, your brain begins trusting it automatically. Psychologists call this the familiarity effect. Humans often confuse familiarity with truth. That's why repeating information is so powerful in media, marketing, and even politics. So what can we learn from all these psychological tricks? The goal is not to become paranoid. The goal is awareness. Because once you understand how influence works, you become more conscious of your decisions. You pause more. You think more carefully. You stop reacting automatically. And honestly, that's a very powerful skill in today's world. Because modern life is full of distractions, advertisements, pressure, and influence. People constantly compete for your attention. And the more aware you become, the harder it is for others to manipulate your emotions and choices. So next time you feel pressure, pause. Observe. Think carefully. And ask yourself, am I choosing this freely? Or am I being psychologically influenced? Thanks for watching. And tell me in the comments which psychological trick surprised you the most. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting topics like this.